Hello and thanks for stopping by. This is Missile Command for the Atari 2600, released by Atari in 1981. This was a fairly popular game from the early 80s, and it was a staple of the 2600, and it sold more than 2.5 million copies. I'm playing this cartridge on a Retron 77. When I first decided to buy a Retron 77, this game was pretty high on the list. If you have an Atari collection, this needs to be in it. To me, it's one of those games you just need to have. Also, it's really simple and it's easy to pick up and put down. I know that's the charm of a lot of 2600 games, especially when you compare them to more modern systems. Now, I have all the modern systems and they're great, but there's something to be said for being able to pick up a game for 5 or 10 minutes and then put it down again and get on with your day. Here, you control a missile defense system and spend your time shooting descending missiles that are attacking your cities. You aim a reticle and you pull the trigger to launch a missile. Your defense missiles will explode, and their explosion radius, if the descending missiles are caught in the area, they explode. This whole game is about adjusting to timing and basically dealing with the lag before an explosion. The attacking missiles take time to descend to the surface, and although your reticle moves quickly, when you fire, it takes time for your defensive missiles to launch, arrive at the destination, and then explode. You have to aim far enough ahead of your target to try to time the explosions to best intercept as many missiles as possible. You can fire up to 3 defensive missiles in a row, and this timing will be important to adjust to. You have to plan your shots to be the most effective, and you can't just start hammering the trigger and think you're going to cover the entire screen. It doesn't work that way. Every now and again, a special missile dive bombs the planet, and it has this great descending whistle as it approaches. It can be really distracting when all these other missiles are streaking across the sky. You can also run out of ammunition. Now, in the early stages, generally you don't run out of ammo, because there's enough time to shoot and plan. Everything is moving slow enough where you can get through the screen. But at the later stages, this can be a real problem. When you run out of ammunition, you have to just sit there and watch the missiles fall towards your cities. As the levels carry on and get more difficult, eventually you're going to start to lose cities. When this starts to happen, you're going to have to start condensing where you apply your forces. After a while, you have to start predicting what missiles are headed to what cities, and you have to start ignoring some of the missiles as they're headed for places that were already destroyed. When you finish a stage, you get points for any remaining cities and whatever ammunition you have left over. You also get this little success jingle. Well, those are the basics of the game. I would say a good score for a game like this would be around 20,000. If you hit that level, I think you've played a pretty good game. That's what it seems like to me anyway. One more thing. I decided to take a look at the manual, and I found out there were actually a total of 34 games on the cartridge. 34! Seriously. I would have expected 2 to 4 different games, maybe. It's not uncommon for Atari games to have a few variants, and then they just double the variant number because they make everything 2-player. But 34? That's crazy. They had to build a spreadsheet in the back of the manual to list all the different variants. Now, these games are just different mixes of different variables that they've listed. Some of the variants they have fast target control, they have slow target control, dumb missiles, smart missiles, different first wave difficulty, and it's all just different combinations of those. I don't think I ever played anything different than Game 1 for me, but I'll have to give the others a check for sure. One thing about a lot of Atari games is the lack of good sound or music. There's no music here to speak of, really, but when you complete a stage, your bonus points are counted, and it sounds kind of like a marching band. And then it's quickly followed by just this little jingle when the level ends, and it all kind of mashes together in this military-like marching band sound. Seriously, give it a listen. It's kind of neat. Also, one thing about this game that they definitely got right here, the colors. I know I've made mention of this in other games that I've looked at, but this one really got it right. The levels change color as you advance. It's so great to have the monotony of a game broken up like this. It makes it easier to sit down for more than 1 or 2 games. A few other interesting things about this game. In Europe, apparently it was licensed by Sega. There was also a 2-player Missile Command sequel that was in development, but I guess it was never released. Well, that's all I have for Missile Command. Not much more to say on this one. Thank you for stopping by, and I'll catch you next time.